the hosts and organizers of the Getting College Ready program. Today we'll be talking about course registration, and we'll be answering all your questions on how to register for classes, what classes to take, and all of that and more. We have two special guests with us. We have Hannah Sollenberger from Academic Advising and Brian Reese from the Office of the Registrar. So we're going to get started with, I'm going to share my screen and show you the Registrar's website, and we're going to watch a quick video on how to register, and it'll have some steps to walk through while we do that, and then we'll open up for questions after that. All right. So right now you'll see the Registrar's website, and if you scroll down underneath course registration, we'll be going to the registration video tutorial.
Here, I'm going to show you how to select your courses for your next semester at Gettysburg College. What you want to do first is you want to go to the college's website at www.gettysburg.edu. Once you get to this home page, what you want to do is click on these three lines in the top corner. Clicking on these lines will take you to a menu. If you scroll down on this menu, you can see a link that says Current Students. You'll click on this link, and it'll take you to the Current Students page. On the left-hand side of this page, you're going to see various logins that you'll have as a student here at Gettysburg College. The one that you want to click on is the link for the Student Center. This will take you to the sign-in page for Gettysburg College's Student Center. In the user ID box, you will put the beginning of your Gettysburg email address without the @gettysburg.edu. Then you'll enter your password and click Sign In. Once you log into the Student Center, you will see this menu on the left-hand side of the screen. What you want to do with this menu is you want to click on the part that says Self-Service. Clicking on Self-Service will give you these options. The one you want to click on now is going to be the Class Search and Browse Catalog option. Clicking on the Browse Course Catalog link will take you to this webpage where all the courses are listed alphabetically by subject matter. You can click on any one you want just to explore. Clicking the Class Search option will take you to this screen. In this screen, you can search through all the courses that are offered at Gettysburg College through various search criteria. You can search by subject. For example, if I wanted to take a history course, I would select the history option off this list of courses. The initial search criteria through the search bar is to have only open classes shown. So if I were to click search right now, I would only see classes that have available spots for students to continue enrolling in it. If I wanted my search to be a little bit more specific, I could go down to this option of additional search criteria. By clicking on this, I can filter out classes by whatever time the class meets at, when the class meets, maybe if I know an instructor that I want, or if I already know the class number because I looked on the Registrar's assignment of courses. You can also look for the course attributes, which means what the course means for the Gettysburg curriculum. I can choose the Gettysburg curriculum option, scroll down, and I can pick any course that I want, whatever credit I need. If I decide not to search for a class using those additional terms, and I just hit search for the history section, I will be shown open history classes. If I look at these open history classes, I can peruse them and I can see which one I want based on class level, class subject matter, and when the class is. If I want more information about a specific class, I will click on the section. For example, for this class, History 105, The Age of Discovery, it'll be the A lecture section. Clicking on the classes section will take me to more details about the class. Here I can see if it's actually a course that I want to take. Something that you want to keep in mind when you're looking at your classes that you might want to take is the enrollment information. Sometimes classes have enrollment requirements. For example, for this class, juniors and seniors need permission. Other classes are not open to first years, Other classes are only for people in specific majors or who have taken a prerequisite. Something else you want to keep in mind is the class attribute. As I mentioned before, that'll be where the class fits in the Gettysburg curriculum. For example, this history class fits the multiple inquiries humanities class. That's important to keep in mind as you schedule your semester. Something else that you'll see is the class availability. Classes only have a specific capacity, so you want to see how many people are already enrolled in it. This class only has 4 enrolled at the moment, so there are 21 available seats. You also want to keep in mind the wait list for a class. In this search, I already made sure that I was looking at only open classes. But if you unchecked that option and you searched for a class that had a wait list, you want to see where you are on the wait list. You can still enroll in the course, you'll just be put on the wait list, so it's good to know where you are. Now that I've decided that I want to take this class and I've made sure to read through the class's description, I need to add it to my enrollment shopping cart so that when enrollment time comes, I'm able to enroll in it. To do this, I'll scroll down to the bottom of the screen and I'll hit Select Class. Hitting Select Class will take me to a confirmation page so that I can add the class to my shopping cart. Here, I'll make sure that I hit the Next button. If you want to be on the wait list for a class, you need to make sure to check Wait list if class is full so that you can be sure to be on the wait list. Hitting that Next button will take me to a final confirmation page so that I'm sure that the class is in my shopping cart. This green check mark and the fact that it says that it's been added to my shopping cart helps me make sure that I know it's in there. If I want to see what's in my shopping cart, if I've added other classes as well, I'm going to go back over to this menu on the left-hand side of the screen. It's already up on this one, but I'm going to click on the section for academic planning under self-service, and then I'm going to hit Enrollment Shopping Cart. The Enrollment Shopping Cart is important because you can put multiple classes in it. If I choose different sections of a class, or if I'm not sure if I'm going to get in the classes the first time I try to enroll, you can add as many classes as you want into the shopping cart, just in case. When it comes time to enroll and you have all of your courses in your shopping cart selected, you'll need to come back to this page. What you'll need to do is you'll need to hit Select on all of the courses that you have, more than one, except in this case, and you'll need to hit the Enroll button. Make sure you have all of the courses selected. You can enroll in them all at once. Once you hit Enroll and you go through another confirmation screen, you'll know if you're enrolled in the class or not. If you have successfully enrolled in a class, you'll see this green check mark. You'll see a red X if you're unable to enroll, and the website should tell you what happened. In that case, it's a good thing that you'll have backups so that you can enroll in another class. Once it is confirmed that you are either successfully enrolled or waitlisted in all of your classes for the upcoming semester, you'll be good to go.
Awesome. Now that we've watched that, we'll start opening up for any questions that we might have. I think a good place to start is for Hannah and Brian to tell us, how do we actually get to the course registration screen?
You want me to take that one, Brian?
Sure.
So I will share my screen as well. So when you're on the Gettysburg College website, do you see our website now, Kelly?
Yes.
So if you scroll down to the bottom is where I usually tell students, and you want to click on current students. And along the left-hand side here, this is where most students usually save this as one of their favorites and bookmark it because you'll use this page a lot. But you'll be able to get to your student email, your Moodle, all the things that you might need for campus. Here you're checking Student Center, and that's where you're going to go into to get to the course registration and make sure that you're in Student Center. Good.
Awesome. Thanks, Hannah. So if you have any questions, please put them into the chat. You can direct them to me and I will read them out loud. I also just put in the chat the link to the video that we just watched. And as we're waiting for your questions to come in, I will read some of the questions that we received during the registration process. So Um, excuse me as I scroll through them. All really great questions. One question is, a student would like to know, can you please discuss how to go about changing your first year seminar? And the student asked because theirs is virtual now and they would like to have an in-person one.
So Brian, I can pull it up on my screen so they can see. I have a few other options on the left of my screen that you won't have on yours, but if you do have the self-service, and once you go into self-service, you'll want to do a class search. And then it depends on what you're looking for. So you can search, make sure you're on fall 2020, and you can go to the first year seminar option. And then if you leave this checked, that it's only showing the classes that are still open and available, once you search, it'll give you a list of all the courses that are still available that qualify as a first year seminar. And all first year students do need to take a seminar course. So if we are going to change that on Wednesday, make sure you're entering another one. When you click on this link, it will tell you what the course satisfies. I know there was another question, Kelly, on switching to a course, a first year seminar course that satisfies the first year writing requirement. And this was on the video as well. But if you go to course attribute to Gettysburg curriculum, and then you go to first year writing, it'll show you all of the courses that satisfy first year writing requirement. So that's our English 101, our English 111, English 113, and then it still also shows you the first year seminars that also fulfill the first year writing requirement that are actually still open. So any of those would be what you're looking for whoever it was that asked about the first year seminar and fulfilling first year writing requirement.
Great, thanks, Hannah. Now, since we're talking about virtual classes and seeing if your class is online, remote, or in person, Brian, could you talk to us a little bit of how you could see that designation when you're looking at the classes?
Sure, absolutely, and that's a great question. I will share my screen here shortly. Okay, Kelly, can you see the website now, the registrar's website? Okay. All right, so we've gotten quite a few questions recently on courses that are going to be offered online versus remote learning, those type of questions. So if you go to the registrar's website, all right, and you can see the link to the registrar here, and you can also, in our search feature, just type in registrar, and the first search result will take you out to our website. So on the registrar's website, under resources, we just on Friday, we finally got confirmation from the provost office to make the announcement of online courses available to students. So if you click on this link here, which is, right now it's a PDF file, and it'll come up. It'll give you, the first page will give you a little bit more information on the announcement of online courses. So basically what we're saying is, for an online course, we're planning to offer a set of courses that will be taught exclusively online by a Gettysburg College faculty member. Those online courses, as of right now, unless it's otherwise noted, the list of courses down here, for example, this first one that's online, Africana Studies 131. So even though it's listed as an online course, it still does have a meeting time. So students are still expected to meet with that faculty member during, on Tuesdays and Thursdays from 2:35 to 3:50 in an online format. And what that might look like is obviously going to vary depending on the instructor. So once we start getting closer to the beginning of the semester, we'll hopefully be able to provide more details, or we'll have students contact the instructor directly to see what an online component may look like. So on Friday, we did announce the initial list of online courses. So these are all available out on the website on this document. You can scroll down. I think if I'm not mistaken, I think there's about 4 pages of online courses. Okay, so you can see that will be posted. We will update that as quickly as possible. If we get any more between now and Wednesday, we'll also have that updated so that you can make an informed decision whenever you're registering for classes on Wednesday if you're looking for online courses, or in another situation, if you're looking to avoid online courses. So at least we'll have this list of classes available for you. Now, the other thing that came out of the conversation was remote learning. So remote learning is slightly different. So what we're looking at for a student who's planning to learn remotely may be, for examples, and these are just examples I'm going to throw out. There's a lot of students that are going to be remote for various reasons. But if I'm a student that lives out of state, or if I'm a student that's not comfortable coming to campus and I still want to take Gettysburg College courses for the fall, and I want to enroll in either courses that are either going to be offered online or they may be offered in person, the college right now is making every attempt to offer courses to those students remotely. So for example, if I live in, again, I'll say, if I live in the state of Texas and I want to take courses at Gettysburg, and I'm remaining at home in Texas, I will hopefully, working with the faculty members and updating our classroom facilities, we're hoping to have the technology in place that faculty member will still be able to deliver that course to the student that's out of state, or is decided not to learn in person for various reasons. And again, that could be our international students, that could be students who don't want to return to campus for various reasons. So we are working with our faculty and our IT and facilities folks right now to update as many classroom spaces as possible. Now, there is a little disclaimer in here that says that the college cannot guarantee all classes will be available remotely. And that is the case because there are some courses that may just not be designed to be offered remotely or online. They may require an in-person component. As we get closer to the beginning of the semester, we're going to try to identify those courses. Okay, so that is, hopefully will help with some of the online versus remote questions. And again, if you have any specific questions or something that I skipped over too quickly, you can certainly reach out to the registrar's email alias. We can provide that in the chat later here. But again, the announcement of courses is there. And again, it's under resources. So the first one here is the online courses. The next PDF, the one right underneath it, is the first year announcement of courses. And again, this was updated on Friday. So what we've done here is we've identified courses that departments and programs typically list as courses that are open to first year students. Now, we do realize that some students may have taken dual enrollment credits during high school, or they bring in AP credits. So it's possible that you may have already met a prerequisite for maybe a 200, 300 level course. And we will certainly work with you in the department on those courses if you're planning to take an upper level class. But right now, the first year announcement of courses is available as a PDF. You can scroll down through the list of courses. Over on the right-hand column, over on the right-hand side of the document, we do provide information on what curricular requirements these courses will satisfy. So for example, the first one that's listed, Africana Studies 130, will count not only for conceptualizing diversity, but would also count as an interdisciplinary course. Now, courses that are listed, and I can get into more details on this, or your advisor will probably help you with this, but courses that are listed to satisfy, that have conceptualizing diversity or global understanding, those courses can only satisfy one of those requirements. What's called the cultural diversity requirement at Gettysburg is a 2-course requirement. So you do need to take one conceptualizing diversity and one global understanding. If you take Africana Studies 130 in your first semester, you'll have that on your list of courses that could satisfy one or the other. And then later on, if you take another global understanding course, the AFS 130 would then satisfy conceptualizing diversity. And again, we can work with you on that part further down the road, or your summer advisor will have more information as well. So again, so the PDF, the first year announcement of courses, lists the courses that we're currently offering. They're available for first years. Sorry, I just wanted to scroll down real quick to first year seminars, because again, first year seminars are listed. Okay, so for those of you who want to change your first year seminar, again, this information is all available. If the class is closed, it'll mark it as being closed right now on the PDF. And again, you can do that through the class search as well. First year seminars, I just wanted to touch on real quickly to let you know that every first year seminar at least satisfies one curricular requirement. There are some that will satisfy multiple requirements. For example, FYS 118-4, Wicked Problems, Activism, Art. That will satisfy both conceptualizing diversity and your MI Arts requirement. So it is possible that a first-year seminar will satisfy more than one curricular requirement. Okay. And then again, under resources, so again, these three links at the top are going to be your most important ones for registration right now. You've got your announcement of online courses, the first year announcement of courses, and then this is a full complement of all courses that are going to be offered in the fall. So again, for those students who have met prereqs or have taken dual enrollment credit that may be looking for upper level classes, the full fall 2020 announcement of courses is also available on our website. Okay.
Thanks, Brian.
Sure.
Could you also talk to us a little bit more how students will know which courses they need to take? So if they're thinking of a specific major or the requirements that Gettysburg has, where can they find out that information of what should they be looking for, as well as when they're looking at where those courses fall in, how many of which ones they should be taking?
Sure. Another great question. I'll go back out to the website. So.
I tried to ask it quick enough, but I didn't.
No worries. Okay. So again, back on the registrar's website, and this one, I believe, is still under, we're still under resources. So if you scroll down a little further, there are a few links here, what we call, the first one that I'm going to click on is the Gettysburg curriculum check sheet. And again, this is a link to a file that will tell you what the Gettysburg College curriculum looks like, the curriculum requirements to complete for the degree. Underneath it, and I'll come back to this, but you also have linked to major and minor check sheets. So for example, I'll start with the curriculum requirements. So if you click on this link here, this will bring up another file that will provide a list of all the courses that you need to satisfy the Gettysburg curriculum, or the curriculum requirements, my apologies. So for example, under the multiple inquiries categories, you need at least one course that's in the arts. You need one course that satisfies humanities, social sciences, and then there are 2 courses that are required for natural sciences. So with the natural sciences, at least one of those classes has to be with a lab. Now, some students who go into the natural science fields, biology, chemistry, physics, environmental studies, a lot of times you'll satisfy courses, you'll take more than one course with a lab, and you'll satisfy not only courses that count towards the curriculum requirements, but also towards your major and minor. But for a student who's not interested in natural sciences, you do need to at least take 2 courses to satisfy the curriculum requirement, and at least one of those has to be with a lab. So again, so that's the curriculum check sheet, and that's available on our website. You can kind of scroll through it. The numbers in the parentheses are the ones, the total number of courses that you need to satisfy it. Another example is second language. So the second language requirement at Gettysburg has to be a 2-course sequence in the same language. Now, they do not have to be taken in subsequent semesters. So if you start, let's say, for example, Spanish 101 in the fall, you're not required to take Spanish 102 in the spring. However, we do recommend that you, if possible, take them in subsequent terms. But again, it's not a requirement, but it is a recommendation that you do take them in back-to-back terms if possible. And again, it does have to be a language requirement in sequence and in the same language. So that is the Gettysburg curriculum, and that will be available. And then also, we have a link to the major and minor check sheets. So if you click on this link, and then you scroll down to find the major or minor that you're interested in. Let's say, for example, we'll look at biology BA real quick. So if you click on this, if you're thinking about majoring in biology, if you click on this link, now this will provide a list of all the courses that are required to satisfy the major. Okay, so most of our majors usually have a core set of groups, or a core set of courses that each student needs to take. So again, usually they're listed at the top of the check sheet, so you can see what courses are your core. And then once you scroll down to start looking at other requirements, then you can start to get into some flexibility where you have, of course, an entire class or course list that then you can select one or two from that course list to satisfy the requirement. Okay, and these check sheets will provide the entire list of all the requirements that are required for the major, and then also usually it does have like a course total down here, so you kind of know where how many courses you'll need for that major or minor. Minors are always 6 courses. Majors do have some flexibility on the total number that are required for the major, but minors do fall in with 6. Okay. Okay.
And Kelly, if I can just jump in, I was looking over the list of questions that came in prior to the start. First year seminar classes, you indicated on your dashboard. So when you go into Student Center, you should already see the first year seminar class that you registered for. It should show up on your homepage there when you first go into Student Center. And also the academic requirements that Brian was referring to for Gettysburg curriculum or for potential future majors are all listed there under academic requirements. So you can check to see, what your first year seminar satisfied. And then once you register for classes on Wednesday, those will also show up on your list. So it's a good time, if you have the time, to go through Student Center and get familiar with how it's set up and where your information is on those classes. I believe there was also a question, Kelly, about having issues logging into PeopleSoft and Student Center. If you were having trouble, the login should be the same as the login that you have for your email. So if your email is working, that should be the same username and password then for the PeopleSoft Student Center. If you're having trouble, the GTech, so just GTECH at gettysburg.edu, you can email them and they will get back to you pretty quickly. It's usually within the same day when you write to them if you're having issues getting into Student Center, but it should be your same username and login that you've used for email.
Thanks, Hannah. Another question that we were sent is about waitlisting. So could we talk a little bit about what waitlisting is, as well as what happens if you're waitlisted for a class? Should you sign up for another class, and what can happen after you are waitlisted?
So I'll tell you what we typically do, and then Brian can let us know if there are any changes now that some courses have gone virtually. There are certain caps on classroom space and size. So we don't really encourage students to add themselves to more than one wait list. If you are the first on a wait list, it would be fine to add yourself to the wait list, but you don't want to be in one seminar course and then on 3 wait lists when you go in to register on Wednesday. So we encourage you to add classes that are already full. There might be some flexibility that Brian can weigh in if a class is virtual, but we do try to keep class size to a minimum. We'd like to have smaller classes for a lot of different reasons, but it does allow you to have a better relationship with a faculty member, more attention in class. So we do try to keep those classes pretty small. If it's at all possible, if you're in English 101 section and there are other sections with lots of other times, pick a different English 101 section to join instead of staying 8th or 9th on a wait list for another one. So a lot of the courses that you all will be registering for as a first year student, there should be other sections or other options. Same if it's Math 111, maybe there's a different section that meets at a different time. So don't just stay on a wait list for a specific course if there are other options there.
And I'll just jump in. I mean, I believe that Hannah covered most of what I would say about a wait list. The only thing is I will add, when you register on Wednesday, the system is designed to allow no more than 2 wait lists, right? So I guess I should step back. So when you register on Wednesday, the system will only allow you to enroll in a maximum of 4 units or 4 courses. What Gettysburg calls a unit, we're on the unit system at Gettysburg, 1 course is equivalent to 4 credit hours. So we go by a unit system. So the system is set up to only allow you to enroll in a maximum of 4. The exception is if you're a music major or minor. Some music majors and minors do require some quarter credit or half credit courses that you may have access to. And again, if you have any questions on for music majors and minors on which ensembles or applied lessons you need to enroll in, that would be, we typically get that information from the conservatory. So I would just focus on the 4 full unit courses on Wednesday. So when you go to register on Wednesday, 4 is the maximum, only 2 can be waitlisted. And for various reasons. I mean, as Hannah touched on, I mean, we try to keep our class sizes small. There are some courses that it's possible that the college can, based on a wait list, we might be able to add additional sections. Some courses we cannot. We just simply do not have the ability to offer additional sections of some courses. So we certainly encourage you to try to at least attempt to enroll in at least 3 courses and then maybe 1 wait list. Now, if there are certain courses you need for a major or minor, some, we know is with first year students, even some majors and minors, you have to be in certain classes in your first semester. If that's the case, then certainly waitlist yourself for 2 of those courses, and then we can work with the department or program to see if there's anything that we can do. As far as a waitlist number, we're still talking with departments and programs about what an online course will look like. My understanding right now is we're still keeping the course capacities low because again, we don't want to have an open enrollment for online courses. So again, so I think my recommendation would be at least try to enroll in 3 classes on Wednesday, waitlist for 1, and then we can always work with you on if there was another course that you were considering that you wanted to waitlist. And I guess I can also take this opportunity to say that once the Student Center opens on Wednesday, you will have access from July 15th all the way up until August 16th, the day before classes. So you will have access to your Student Center that entire month. So you'll be able to go in, you'll be able to make changes, you'll be able to drop and add courses. So, don't take Wednesday's enrollment as this is your final schedule. So you will have about a month to go in and play around with your schedule, make some adjustments, or, if the office of the registrar, if we need to add courses, we usually send out an announcement, and then you can go in and maybe look at the new sections, see how they fit into your schedule. So you will have access to the Student Center from July 15th until August 16th.
I also saw, Kelly, the question about what do you recommend for students who are undecided? So you will have your seminar course. It is also a good time if that seminar course does not fulfill first year writing for you to take a course that fulfills the first year writing requirement. It might also be a good idea for you to think about taking your language, especially for those of you who had a language in high school. It does make it a lot easier to transition and take that language right away. Certainly don't have to, but if you're not really sure what you want to major in, it's definitely a possibility. And then that 4th course should certainly be something that you would consider majoring in. You want to start building a set of courses for a potential major. If you're majoring in something like bio or chem or health science or BMB, you definitely need to start your major right away. But for those of you who are undecided, exploring the curriculum, exploring potential majors at Gettysburg is something you want to do right away. You don't want to get to the beginning of your sophomore year and never have taken a course in something that you definitely want to major in. So if you want to try in economics, if you want to try philosophy, but thinking about what is a potential major is definitely something that you want to try that first semester.
Thanks, Hannah. Thanks, Brian. So some of the questions that we just received was about what both of you were talking about. So to clarify, the end result for students on Wednesday or when they register is to have 4 total classes, correct?
Correct. I think when Brian said 3, that is assuming that everyone already has a first year seminar course. So that is your 1. So the first year seminar course should already be showing up on your schedule. You're adding another 3 for a total of 4. We consider at Gettysburg 3 or 4 classes full time, but because we require 32 credits to graduate, that's under the assumption that you're taking 4 classes or 4 units every semester. So if there's a semester where you don't take a full 4, you would need to make that credit up at some time before you would graduate. Some of you are coming with AP credits or dual enrollment credits that Brian mentioned, and They may or may not be showing up on your transcript and in your student center already. I know everything got kind of pushed back with AP exams this year, so we don't necessarily have that information. If you've taken an AP credit and you got a 4 or 5 on that, you can have the College Board send that to the Registrar's office. We would encourage you, if you haven't done that already, to do that as soon as possible. So if you took an AP history class, there is a chart, if Brian's able to pull that up and show us where that is. So if you know for sure that you took even an AP English and you know you scored a 4 or 5 and it hasn't sent it to us yet, you don't necessarily need to register for the first year writing requirement, but we have an equivalency chart that we can show you here in a second for what that would count for. If you didn't get the 4 or 5, if you didn't take AP credits, completely fine. But if you did, we don't want you to come in and then kind of replace that course and then not get the credit for it. So it would be important to have that information sent to us, but also to make sure that you know if you took an AP course, what it qualifies for as far as Gettysburg standards.
And that can also be IB classes, correct?
Correct.
Yes. Yeah. So Kelly, can you see my screen now?
Yes.
Okay. All right. So again, back on the Registrar's website, under resources, if you continue to scroll down, there is a link here to what we call AP, IB, and then the British A-level exam equivalencies. So if you click on this, it will take you to a different page, and then it'll give you a little bit of information on each test credit that we accept, AP, International Baccalaureate, and then the British A levels. So if you're thinking about AP credits, if you either have submitted them or in the process of having them submitted, you can then click on what we have here is the AP exam equivalencies. So once you click on this link, it will take you to a document that will basically, it'll mention the AP course title over here on the left, what it comes, what we accepted at Gettysburg College with the course catalog title that we call it, and then if it satisfies any curricular requirements over here in the right-hand column. So again, that chart's kind of handy if you've taken a lot of AP credits. We've had some students who bring in a fair number of AP scores that do not need to take certain classes because their AP credits satisfy either a curricular requirement or they count for, like Hannah was saying, the first year writing requirement or some of the other curricular requirements that we have. So once again, that chart is available under resources, and then if you click on AP, IB, and A-level exam equivalencies, all that information is available.
Awesome, thank you. So another logistical question that I received was, can the students go through today and tomorrow and online shop a little bit, put everything in their cart, and then just hit enroll on Wednesday, or did they need to do everything on Wednesday?
I would strongly encourage you to have it in your shopping cart. It is definitely like online shopping. Putting it in your cart does not make it enrolled and an official course for you. But we do encourage you to have that up and ready. So on Wednesday morning, when you get on your computer and online at 9 a.m., you shouldn't just be turning your computer on. So your computer should be on, Student Center is up, and you've logged in plenty of time that you don't get nervous and anxious because you're down to the wire and it's 8:56. Have the shopping cart open and be ready to hit enroll. There is an enroll and then there's a finish enrolling. So you want to make sure you go through both of those steps. And then when you go back out to your home page on Student Center, you will see your list of courses that are official courses. You would have to go under, I think it's class schedule for fall 2020 to see if there are any waitlisted courses, but the courses that you are officially enrolled in then would appear on your home screen.
Thanks, Hannah. All right, let's see. If you have any other questions, please send them to me in the chat. I've received some individualized questions, and I will be sending those on to Brian and Hannah in an individual capacity so you can get the correct answer for your individual case. think we're up to date with all the questions that I've been sent. Please message me again if I haven't asked your question. Is there any tips, tricks, advice that Hannah, Brian, or Allison you would share with the incoming class?
I got a couple of questions here that I just now saw that were just sent to me. So you can certainly use the Schedule Builder tab to help you coordinate your schedule, but you do still want to make sure that the courses that you actually want are in your shopping cart, and then you enroll from there. You can't enroll if they haven't been placed into your cart yet. And then what about CIE credits? Brian, is that something that you can weigh in on?
CIE credits, that might be, if the individual who sent that question, if you don't mind sending that directly to me, I'll take a look at that. That might be something that we need to look at on an individual basis.
But otherwise, I would encourage students to think about a balance. Like I said earlier, the balance of filling courses for the Gettysburg curriculum, but then also starting a major that you're really interested in. Definitely talk to your summer advisor if you have not done so already. Definitely want to talk to that person today or tomorrow. If you have additional questions, you can contact the Office of Academic Advising. And then thinking about what your strengths are. So if you're a morning person, don't sign up for a Monday through Friday at 8 a.m. You want to start off college on the right foot. You want to take courses that kind of fit your normal schedule and what works best for you. I believe there was one other question, Kelly, that we didn't get to also regarding science credits. When you add a science course, if it comes with a lab portion, once you add that course, it will come up with what lab sections are available. You'll need to check one of those lab sections and then it'll add it together. If it's a science that does not have a lab, like some of our lower level environmental studies courses, you will definitely need to, you won't need a lab section for that. But for the lab sciences or an econ course that has a lab section, anything that has a lab, it won't allow you to add it to your cart until you've selected the lab portion.
And if I could just jump in real quick on the natural science with labs, another thing you want to be aware of on Wednesday, a lot of our labs, the lecture will show as being open, but you may need to select a different, the lecture will be shown as open, but you may need to select a different lab if the system comes back and says that the course is closed. So for example, a biology class that seats 48 students, what we do is we break them into labs of 16. The labs have got to be smaller size labs for various reasons. So what may happen is if you select lab 1 and the course comes back as shown as being closed, but yet the lecture is still open, you may need to then just go back in and select one of the labs that are currently open. So you may still be able to enroll in the lecture in a lab. You may just have to pick, it may not be your top choice or a preference, but you may have to then look at your schedule to see if another lab fits. So that's just something to be wary of if you're looking at natural sciences or any of the courses that have labs. As Hannah said, some of our economics courses have labs as well. So anything that has a second component to it, whether it be a lab, a discussion section, you may just need to adjust one of those to get into the lecture.
Thanks, Brian. So some of the questions that I'm receiving right now involved first year seminars. So some students are interested, if they're currently assigned to one seminar, can they waitlist for another seminar and drop the first seminar that they're a part of? And would they have to enroll in this new class first and then drop the second? What are your recommendations about this?
If the seminar course you're currently enrolled in is something that you wouldn't mind taking if you don't get into the new one, I would encourage you to try to do a swap. And I don't know if Brian would say the same thing, but if you do a swap, so on Student Center, and I can't show you because I don't have that on my view, it's only on the student view, but there is a swap tab along the top that you can put in that I would be willing to substitute this seminar course for the other seminar course, but then it won't allow you to do it unless there is room in that new course. So that's a way to make sure that you don't drop your current seminar and kind of lose your spot in that class in case you don't get into the other one that you would like to consider as an option. If that other class is still open and has spots, then you certainly can just take yourself out of that class and enroll in another seminar course. And Brian might have other suggestions there.
No, I mean, I think Hannah touched on what recommendations I would have. The only thing I guess I would add to that is if you're unsure and before you would drop the course, if you want to reach out to the office of the registrar, we can certainly look for you. We can, we'll go in and we'll see if the other seminar has seats available or what a swap may look like, or if it's even feasible. We can certainly help you with that. And that's, I guess, the only other point I haven't touched on yet. On Wednesday, I mean, the office of the registrar is going to be completely dedicated to registration. I mean, that's all we're going to be doing on Wednesday, and that'll start at 8 a.m. All the way up until the end of the day. So if you have any questions, we certainly recommend that you email the registrar alias, because there are 6 or 7 of us that can view that quickly, and we can help you. Right now we're working remotely. The office is working remotely, so we may not be able to get to phone calls as quickly. So we recommend that you send us an email so that and everyone can see that alias, and then we can grab them real quick and answer your questions. So again, if you have any questions, or if you get messages, a course looks like it's open, but you can't get it, if you can't enroll in it, please contact the office of the registrar via email. And I just saw that Kelly put it in the chat. Thank you. So you'll have our email address, and certainly, you can email us on Wednesday. And again, Wednesday we'll be focused on it, Thursday and Friday most likely as well. So even if you can't get to, or if you want to make changes after Wednesday, we'll certainly help you.
And I have tried to answer all the questions that came to me individually here in the chat. So if I missed anything, you can certainly send me an email, or like I said, ask your summer advisor. Our phones are working via laptop, so you can call the Office of Academic Advising, and I will put that phone number here in the chat as well.
Thanks, Hannah. Thanks, Brian. I do think we got through all the questions that were sent to me. If I was unable to get to your question, I do apologize. Please let me know. I have pulled some questions aside for Brian and Hannah to respond individually to acknowledge some of the individual aspects of each person's case. So if you feel that you have some individual concerns or you have more questions, please let us know. You can email the registrar, you can email Hannah, you can let any of us know, and we'll be more than happy to help you with your question before Wednesday. So before we end this, are there any last hot ticket questions you want to submit in the chat? I'm seeing none, so I want to thank everyone for joining us. We will be releasing this recording as well as our recording from the previous course registration session that we did, so that might have some different questions that were answered. I will be working on editing those today, and we'll release those on our Facebook and Instagram, as well as send those to Hannah and Brian so they can send those to you as well. So if you have any questions that weren't answered in any of those sessions, please, please, please let us know before Wednesday. We want you to get all the classes that you can get. So thank you so much. Thank you to Hannah and Brian for joining us and sharing all of your information. All right. Well, good luck with registration. We have our fingers crossed for everyone. Bye-bye.